All right, ladies, we're back with another episode on the Weight Loss for Women 40 Plus podcast. Now, today we are talking about motivation, the thing that a lot of people struggle with. Oh, if I was just more motivated, I could lose weight. If I was just more motivated, I could clean my house. I could do the lawns. I could do the gardens. If I was just times insert whatever you want to say. Everybody gets like this. I get like this at times. Coaches get like this. Everybody goes through those times of feeling unmotivated. Now, we're going to be specifically talking about weight loss today and weight loss motivation. And there are two driving forces for motivation. We have positive motivation and we have negative motivation. And both of them are important, but they are not equal. Most people think that the positive motivation is the one that you should be aiming for the most. That's the direction that you want to be going in. But in fact, is it the most motivating thing? Let me ask you a question. So what goal do you have right now for your health? Like, do you want to lose 5 kilograms? Is it 30 kilograms? Do you want to get healthier? Do you want to get fitter? Do you want to get stronger? Do you want to run half a marathon? Do you want to do 10 push-ups? Do you want to lose the belly fat, lose the cellulite, tone up? There's a million and one different ways we can go with this goal. But what tends to happen is everyone has the goal, but the motivation's not there. So what happens? It's just a dream. It's just something that we want. It would be nice to have. Man, imagine having that. But I can tell you right now, and you already know the answer to this, that's not going to be the thing. It's going to drive you the hardest. So let me tell you a story. Give you an analogy. Imagine you're looking out into a field right now, and in the field you see this deer, and the deer's eating grass, having a grand old time. Yay, eating grass. And then out of the cave, from hibernation, way out of the cave comes the bear. He's just woken up, sorry. He's woken up and he spots this deer. He's like, juicy deer. And he sees it right across the field. And he sees it and he's like, I'm having that for lunch. He starts running towards the deer. Run, run, run. Now, the deer then hears this thundering stampede of a bear coming towards him. And what does he do? The deer turns around and bolts. He starts running. Now, in this situation, who is running the hardest? Is the deer or the bear running harder? Not faster, harder. Who's running the hardest? Well, the bear's motivation is he's hungry and he wants to eat. On the other hand, the deer's motivation is he doesn't want to die. Because if he gets caught, he's seen what the bear does to the other deer. Tears it limb from limb, maybe even still alive, getting eaten. He's like, not today. That's not going to be me. So he's running as hard as he possibly can because he is in fear of getting eaten. Now, the bear's motivation is up there. Don't get me wrong. He's running hard. He wants the meal. But what happens if he doesn't catch the deer? Is he going to die? Well, probably not. He might just go fishing in the river for some salmon. So we have two motivations. We have the bear, which is running towards something that he wants, which is the motivation that we all have. We all have a goal that we want. We want to look healthier, or hang on, let's go a little bit deeper. Maybe the goal is you want to play with your kids. Maybe you want to kick the footy around with your son or your daughter or your grandchild, and you physically are unable to do that because of your weight or your fitness or your health. Maybe you want your partner more attracted to you. Maybe you want to, spark that physical intimacy again because it's not there. Maybe you want to be more confident when you go out with your girlfriends because right now, you're not feeling that confident. Maybe they look great and you don't. Who knows? So that's the going to motivation. That's the bear. The deer, on the other hand, is running away from something. And I ask people on calls all the time. I ask them, what happens if, you don't lose this weight? What happens if you don't achieve that goal of kicking the ball with your children? What happens if you, remain overweight and you stay inside and you're not social and you're not the confident person you want to be? And sometimes people are like, well, I've never let that happen. I'm like, hang on a second. We have to be realistic here. We have to be honest here. Even though the deer does not want to get caught, even though the deer does not want to die, and he's probably had that conversation with his mates, like, that wouldn't happen to me. Like, I wouldn't get caught. I'm motivated, I'm fast, I'm agile. The reality is the deer can get caught. The reality is is you can fail. And you might have failed for years, for decades, for a long time. So reality is we have to face that failure is an option and it can happen. I know, and you know, plenty of people that never got to kick the ball with their kids. We know plenty of ladies that were overweight their whole life and they weren't the confident version of themselves. They never got down into clothes size that they wanted. We know plenty of people that died early of health conditions. So you cannot honestly say that you would never let that happen because that's not true. Whether we admit it or not, failure is an option and failure can happen to you. So that big goal that we just described earlier, what are you running from? What do you not want to happen? What are the consequences of you not taking action and moving towards this goal? What will happen? For some people, it has to get dire. For some people, they have to go to the doctor and the doctor says, oh my God, your test results have come back and you have type 2 diabetes. You have health problems, you have heart conditions. For a lot of alcoholics, they have to have the car crash and put themselves into a near-death experience to go, oh my God, I need to wake up. What am I doing? What needs to happen for you? What are the consequences of your inaction? What are the consequences of you not achieving this goal? And this is something real you have to face because, well, if you never achieve that goal, will you never feel that moment of self-accomplishment? Will you never get out of mediocrity? Will you never get out of inadequacy? Those are the things that can happen. And the motivation that's going to get you moving towards the goal is a combination of both sides of the coin, the positive and the negative. But the thing that moves the needle the furthest and the quickest is the negative motivation. It's what's driving the deer to run for his life because he is now more motivated than the bear. And he is going to run harder than the bear. He's going to run longer than the bear because his life is in the balance. And yeah, he could actually trip over and fucking die. He could trip over and get eaten. That can happen. You can just walk out of your house one day, walk across the road, get hit by a bus, have a brain aneurysm. These things can happen. So what decision do you need to make today that is going to put you in the best possible position to achieve your goal? Because what's going to happen tomorrow, what happens in a week, what happens in a month is a fallacy. Or, well, I could lose my job. I'm like, that's a reality. Yeah, you could. The odds of it happening are pretty low. Well, if I'm going to miss out on time with my kids. Well, that is a reality, but I'm like, I guarantee your kids won't care if you're at the gym 3 times a week for an hour and a half in total. I don't think they're going to care. Well, what if my family doesn't like the meals? Well, make meals that your family likes and help you lose weight. It's not what is going to be, what happens in the future, what happens, blah, blah, blah. Because here's the thing. Everybody plays the negative fallacy, meaning that, well, what if something negative happens? But no one plays the what if something positive happens. What if tomorrow you trip over, skin your knee, and right next to your knee is a lotto ticket. You're like, oh, that looks interesting. You take the lotto ticket in, you scan it, and you've won $500,000. No one plays the positive future fallacy. They play the negative. What if this happens? But tomorrow doesn't exist. Next week doesn't exist. Next year doesn't even exist. The earth could get hit by a meteorite and explode. So what decision do you need to make today that is going to put you in the best possible position to achieve the goal that you want to achieve? That, ladies, is how you start thinking and putting yourself in the right lane to achieve this goal. That is it. If you just ask that question every single day, what decision do I need to make that's going to put me in the best possible position to achieve my goal? You would be 10 times further ahead than 99.9% of the population. And this is what we do with our clients every single day in our one-on-one VIP transformation program. We sit down with them, we create their goals, we understand what they're moving towards, what they're running away from, and we use that as motivation. Because coaching and accountability is a lot of high fives, but it's also kicks up the bum sometimes to get you going. You might have got into a funk for a week or two, and I'm going to bring up your negative motivation. We're like, hey, what are we running from here? Why did you start this in the first place? It wasn't so you could give up. I said, you've been there, you've done that. I said, we know that doesn't get us closer to the goal. So we've got to start thinking in ways that we haven't been able to before. And a lot of the time, that's a taught skill. It's having a coach there supporting you and guiding you. It's almost like a tutor, having someone tutoring you through the process so you can finally graduate with a high distinction and you have the body that you want and the goals are ticked off. If you're looking and you need that kind of support and accountability, apply for our program. Very simple. You've been listening to my podcasts for 5 of them, 10 of them, 15, 20, 50 of them. And if you still haven't moved the needle forward, it's time for some coaching. It's time to get into a program with people that actually specialize in weight loss for women in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. Perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. Stop using the apps, stop using the gym, stop using the jack of all trades, trainers and coaches that work with everyone. You need someone who specializes in the things that you're going through right now. And we only work with busy mums that are flat out, they're working, and they need something that fits their lifestyle, needs to be easy. How to apply for the program? 2 main ways. Number 1, send me a message on socials, Facebook or Instagram. Hey, Josh, heard the podcast. Love it, hate it, like it. I want to find out more information about this program. Cool, we'll start a conversation there. Number 2, find the application form. Actually 3 ways. Application form on the website. You can find that there, blissbodyu.com.au, fill in the application form, hit send, comes to me. Or the last way to do it is I've actually got a book call link in my Instagram and on my Facebook. So you can click the link, you can book a call, jump straight on the calendar, chat to me or one of my teammates, and we'll have a conversation with you. And if we can help, we'll get you sorted out, we'll get you in the program. All right, ladies, lots of love. Remember, what decision do you need to make today that's going to put you in the best possible position to achieve your goal? And that should be your mantra every single day. I promise you, you're going to get way further compared to if you didn't have that mantra. All right, ladies, lots of love. I'm going to see you in the next episode.